After visiting Denali National Park, we headed further north to Fairbanks, the second largest city in Alaska. You can find pretty much anything you need in this town, and our truck was in need of an oil change, which was our first priority. We found a place to dry camp downtown, a short walk to the Chena River, which was wonderful because temperatures were reaching 90 degrees Fahrenheit each day. Our arrival here coincided with the summer solstice, which for a town so far north means lots of sun.
There it is, the midnight sun. It is the longest day of the year here in Fairbanks, and the sun is up at midnight. It will dip below the horizon for a little bit tonight though. We are not above the Arctic Circle, so the sun does dip below the horizon even on the longest day here, but not very much. It's only down for like an hour and then it starts getting light again. As we travel further north, we probably will see it above the horizon all night. You might be able to hear around there is a lot of noise tonight. People are partying like crazy. It's what they do here in Fairbanks on the summer solstice. We're saving our energy tonight, however, because tomorrow they have their big run and we are going to participate.
Because the sun was up for so long, getting to sleep was sometimes difficult, partly because the sun had messed up our schedules, and partly because the low sun angle provides sunset-like golden light for hours on end, giving the world a beautiful glow. When it is finally time for sleep, however, we've been enjoying the nightshades in the RV and had a nightly routine of putting up the snap-on covers over the vents and skylights that made it like a dark little cave inside the RV for sleeping. One of the reasons we were up so late is because everyone else is too, and Fairbanks takes advantage of the longest days of the year to do some fun activities in the midnight sun, one of which is the Midnight Sun Fun Run.
Got our bib numbers, 3103 and 4. So we're gonna...
This is a goofy 10K foot race that attracts thousands of participants and starts at 10 o'clock at night with the sun still high in the sky.
We're running a red light.
Thank you, unicorn! There we go! 2 miles! Alright! There we go. Thank you guys! Watermelon and popsicles.
All right, that was exactly what we needed.
Alright! Thank you! Cheers! Woo! There we go. Now it's a party. There you go. Yeah! What does the fox say?
Ring ding 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 a ding and wah pa 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 pow, or so I've heard.
Alright! Candy!
It's like a cross between a race and a parade.
And a big block party.
A big block party.
We got this. Where is it? Made it. Our reward is fruit.
That is the midnight sun.
Just finished the race. It is midnight here.
Midnight.
Awesome.
And that's the sun.
Well, that's it for the Fairbanks Midnight Sun Run. It was fun. We're a bit whooped.
Yes, and now we gotta ride our bikes like 2 miles home.
We didn't really think that one through.
We'll be riding slow.
We spent another day in Fairbanks recovering from our late night race before heading north for our next adventure on the Dalton Highway. This famous road winds its way 500 miles north of Fairbanks to Prudhoe Bay and the Arctic Ocean. We just got our picture with the Dalton sign. We are officially on what they call the Haul Road, the road that takes you all the way to Prudhoe Bay and is mainly used by big trucks to haul equipment up for the pipeline, which is paralleling us over here on the left. We're doing this drive primarily because we're here and we want to see it. We want to get up to the Brooks Range. It's the only access to the true Arctic Circle and the Arctic in Alaska without taking a plane. I don't really expect to like this drive. It's really just kind of for the adventure. It is also almost 1 in the morning right now. We got out of Fairbanks very late. We are all screwed up from the midnight sun run, being up so late, and the light. It's just like, I mean, the sun just dipped below the horizon. Once we pass the Arctic Circle, it won't even go down at all, which is crazy. I think we're not gonna drive too much further. Maybe find a spot to pull off and call it a night. This highway was built for one purpose: oil. The Trans-Alaska Pipeline runs from Prudhoe Bay on the Arctic Ocean to Valdez, Alaska on the southern coast, and the road was used to build it in the 70s. Shortly north of Fairbanks, we started following this amazing feat of engineering. The pipe is 24 inches in diameter and carries oil at a current pace of 2 to 3 miles per hour, 800 miles from the drill site to the ships. It crosses extremely challenging terrain, endures yearly temperature swings of over 120 degrees Fahrenheit, and crosses hundreds of rivers and streams, including the mighty Yukon, along with the road. Because it is built on permafrost, many challenges had to be overcome, the most noticeable of which is keeping the ground frozen. Permafrost is ground that is frozen year-round, and the metal posts that hold up the pipe can transmit heat into the ground and melt it. This would destabilize the footings and cause damage to the pipe and spills. To overcome this, a unique solution was put in place: refrigerate the footings. Cold posts, as they are known, are filled with anhydrous ammonia that has a boiling point below freezing. This means that if the temperature of the bottom of the post begins to rise, the ammonia will start to boil and take the heat with it. The fins that can be seen on top of the posts are to help recondense the anhydrous ammonia during the colder months. The recondensed ammonia drips back to the bottom of the pipe, making this a completely passive system that helps keep the ground frozen during the warmer months, and is the reason that much of the pipeline is above the ground. The temperature extremes cause lots of expansion and contraction over the 800 miles of pipe. This is accounted for with skid plates that allow the whole pipe to move back and forth and side to side. This is also the reason the pipe is not built in a straight line, to allow for expansion and contraction like a slinky. There are not many towns or services along this drive, and you need to be able to cover over 250 miles without a fuel stop. Coldfoot, 250 miles north of Fairbanks, is one of the largest towns and offers fuel and limited services to the truck traffic that hauls equipment to the oil fields and tourists in the summer. A visitor center here offers amazing exhibits on this northern country and provides road conditions and info on things to do. Here we learned that oil production peaked in the late 80s and has been dwindling ever since, and the flow in the pipeline is reaching its lower limits for profitability. Interestingly, in the event that oil production should stop, an agreement was put in place when the pipe was constructed that would require its complete removal, which leaves this road with an uncertain long-term future. Road conditions along this route are generally not good. There are attempted paved sections, but building on permafrost guarantees extreme frost heaves, buckling, and cracks that made for a very uncomfortable ride. Other sections are dirt and loose gravel, which were a better ride for us, but you risk catching a rock in your windshield from the semis that drive very fast. So we would slow down, pull over, and even stop to help prevent this. The dirt sections also have miles of extreme washboard, but our truck and camper were handling this well. Luckily, we had good dry weather for most of the ride, with only a little rain here and there that quickly made a mess of things. Partway up the road, we came across a sign that indicated we were crossing the Arctic Circle.
The Arctic Circle! We made it!
While we had seen the sun stay up for long periods of time already, past this point in the middle of summer, the sun would not set at all. Our planet rotates on an axis that wobbles 23.5 degrees relative to the orbital plane. What this means is that during the solstice in the north, the Earth tilts 23.5 degrees towards the sun, allowing it to shine over the top of the pole. If we could look straight down on the Earth from the pole, at the summer solstice on June 20th or 21st depending on the year, we would be able to see the light reaching all the way across and lighting this area throughout the entire day and night. The line that the shadow of the Earth scribes during the solstice is the Arctic Circle, and hence the extra light. In the winter, the exact opposite happens. At this line, no sun ever makes it here during the winter solstice, as the north is tilted away from the sun. These changes in sunlight and the solar energy are what account for the seasons. We were driving this road mainly just to do it, but also because we wanted to see the Brooks Mountain Range. We spent an amazing evening camped in the center of this range, alongside a river with one of our prettiest views yet. Our final leg of the drive took us up to the highest point on the road, Adigan Pass, and we exited out the north end of the Brooks Range, where we decided to turn around. From here, the trees disappear and the rolling tundra takes over for hundreds more miles while you slowly slope down to the ocean.
This is the end of the line for us. We are as far north as we are going to be traveling on the Dalton Highway. It goes, another 100 miles or so to Dead Horse and Prudhoe Bay. But this is as far as we're going to be making it. We are up on this hill. We've got this amazing view.
We are north of the Brooks Mountain Range. The mountains are behind us. To the north, there are no more mountains. It is a slope down to the Arctic Ocean. They call this the North Slope. And the only thing up here, and the reason the road is here, is the oil.
We decided not to continue as we had plans to see the Arctic Ocean in Canada, and Prudhoe Bay is private commercial oil property and you cannot camp near the ocean. From here we turned around to make the long drive back to Fairbanks. Unfortunately, when we got back to Fairbanks, a large wildfire was burning and visibility and air quality were very poor. Because of this, and because we would be visiting Fairbanks again on this trip, we decided to keep rolling south. Our plans from here took us back down through Tok, Alaska, and back over the top of the World Highway into Canada, where we would start our trip to the Arctic Ocean on the Dempster Highway. Down the road, we made one last stop in Alaska at a Boondockers Welcome, which is a program that connects RVers with property owners willing to host travelers. We had wonderful hosts that even provided us with a hose to get some of the Dalton mud washed off the rig and get it shining again. The challenge with cleaning a vehicle in Alaska is keeping it that way, as within a day we were back on dirt on the Taylor and top of the world highway.
Top of the world in Canada again. How'd it go?
Yay! Oh my gosh, I think we're getting better at this. Yeah, it was pretty easy, no worries, and we were able to get our bear spray back across. He didn't seem concerned about that, that we had bear spray for bears, and yeah, that was really short. I think we were there for like 4 minutes.
Crossing into Canada at Poker Creek again went smoothly, and partway across the top of the world highway, we found a campsite to settle in at. We had enjoyed this drive so much the first time that we found a neat place to set up camp and enjoy a few days of peace and quiet in the remote wilderness here before making the even longer haul up the Dempster Highway all the way to the Arctic Ocean.